Okay. Oh, might need that. Okay. I just thought I'd try and see if I could set the wheel up here to do any vertical experiments if we need to do any vertical, because the reason we're doing it on the level is it negates the gravity, of course. So you're making your life so much harder trying to do it in a vertical position. But yeah. Yeah. So let's see how easy it is to screw up and unscrew from this position. I don't know, fellas. Bear with me. I have to just take that off, put it down there. That'd be easier. Yeah, that's the trouble. Is the magnets are so heavy that you want to make you use as few magnets as possible, so you get the force without the weight. I think it's one of those. I saw something interesting online the other day. Popped up the Tremor of Archimedes. It's supposed to be like a useless sort of instrument, so, a useless machine or something. And I'm thinking, well, no, it's a teaching, bit of teaching apparel, in a way. So yeah, we'll get to that in a minute. But I think I could. It was just too hard putting it in those positions, and then of course I had the can crusher in the way for that. So I thought, oh, what the heck. I thought, no, let's just stick to the simple. Let's stick to the level, because we negate gravity that way. Well, in a way, you know what I mean. We're taking it out of the equation, sort of thing. So back to the work on the magnets. I keep going back to this because that's the only thing I'm pretty sure about. So at the moment, anyway. So put all my stuff here. Get the old tripod set up, and then we'll have a little bit of a thunk discussion if the camera's working properly. So just bear with me. There we go. Okay. So basically, that's what we. That's all we learnt is the other thing I've learnt a little bit deeper in this thing here is you got this push, and it goes to the back end there. So basically you want to be on here, because if you extend the length out into a giant torus in a way, that problem there at the back will disappear. But I've also noticed it's the corner that you want. That's another thing I've discovered. It's the corner rather than that you want. The other thing is when it's the heel, the force is actually on the heel part of this, but when it's on the side, it's up the top. Don't go the way. So when I'm facing here to get the repulsive force, it's up the top. Yeah, like that. It's up the top there. But when I'm facing here, it's at the heel of the magnet. So they're in two different positions. So that's another thing we've got to factor in. The fact that as the magnet goes past our wheel and goes to the side, the actual, we've got a moving force of repulsion that's moving up and down, which is, in a way, it's going to make it like a sinusoidal sort of wave. So a little bit of a sine gating wave sort of thing that we've probably got to factor in. So then I went to, first of all, get me 50-cent pieces out. You might like this, I don't know if you like that one. Hey, look, very similar. When you have two almost similar equal possibilities, it causes confusion on here, sort of thing. Okay, you can see that. I'll probably have to take the camera off to get a good screenshot of the website. And yeah, I don't know. Camera's almost dying now. Anyway, so they look very similar. Now, if I were to put this, let's get it all dirty. If I were to put it down there, so the coins were down there, from a distance, that similarity, that confusion disappears. For Einstein, it was almost like in reverse, you know. When he was in the town, he could see the hands of the clock underneath the clock face. He could see the hands moving. From a distance, he couldn't see that movement, and suddenly that was the inspiration. You know, speed of light is constant, time dilate sort of thing. And of course then you look over on the bridge and you see the Ford Model T crossing the bridge, and you think, well, that has a speed limit, you know, sort of thing. Most people drive at the speed limit, so how come in a distance it doesn't look like they're going like whatever the speed limit in miles was back then. Today it will be 60 k's or something. How come most people, if there's a speed limit of 60 k's, try to ride or drive at 60 k's? How come when I look at cars crossing a bridge in the distance, they don't look like they're going at 60 k's? It's all like this in reverse sort of thing, you know. The fact that you couldn't notice the movement of the hands from a distance was the difference sort of thing. So sometimes you have to look at problems afar, and sometimes you have to look at them close up. So if you look at them close up, you see, oh, they're not quite the same, they are different. They've both got a 50 in the middle, they've both got surrounded by a circular pattern, they've both got little motifs around the outside, but they're different motifs. Similarities and differences creates confusion. And then you got to factor in, what about the sense of wonder? Yeah, another sense of balance, sense of space, sense of wonder. How many senses do we have? More than 6. It's like the sound of one hand slapping, and when a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Well, is the forest in a vacuum? No, so it probably does. Do you want to check it out? Why don't you just get a microphone on a very long extension cable and run it in there from your tape recorder? And when the tree falls down, you'll have a recording. And if there's sound on the recording, yes, it definitely does make a sound when a tree falls in the forest and no one's there. Because a microphone is not a person, so, you know. Then I thought with this idea, we can put it down there. I thought, yeah, we could extend this idea by making this sort of, if I can do it one-handedly, which I can't, so you're going to have to bear with me. So we're using very cheap, very light plastic bands to hold these in the usual configuration. So we find out which is repulsion, and then we can like build up our pattern there, but it's not quite that simple. And then, you know, this idea, then we can have it on the ramp sort of thing, and we have a magnet sort of thing, and we can, you know, we've got a push. And the other thing I noticed, it tries to flip with when we get back to this idea, when we put them out here like this, well, 3 was the best I think to show it as a demonstration model sort of thing. When you have something like that, it tries to flip, you know, it tries to go in a circular, no, wrong way around. When you get the repulsive force, it will try to flip, if I hold it like this, it will try to flip up like that. So it's trying to do a circular motion. That might be a negative, it could be a positive. Then I thought, well, with this, I could even put another thing in here, sort of thing like this. Put something in like that, and then I could have another magnet on the side, sort of thing. So getting a repulsive force, so we can. A repulsive force off those and also off that at an angle sort of thing, because you don't want to go off the face, because when you go off the face that's when you get gating. But then you've got this idea going around. I thought, oh, it's just getting too complicated. I thought, let's go back to the fundamentals. What we really want is something like that in a way. So all the way around, that's it. So I'm pushing off the face of both faces, so I think that's, yeah, put it around the way. So that's wrong. Okay, now we should be right. Okay, so it does part, you know, you can get it so wrong so quickly. There's 4 ways of getting it. There's 3 ways of getting it wrong, put it that way. So no, that's not right again. What have we done? That's better. Okay, maybe there's more than 3 ways of getting it wrong. Okay, so this is what you want. So you got repulsion there, and you want it half the magnet if you can. And of course now I've got to find a way of actually holding it like that and then putting it onto the wheel, sort of thing. An easy way. So I thought, well, why don't we just cut ourselves a bit of this sort of stuff and start playing around? Can we find, because it's quite light, you know, it's not heavy. It's let me see, probably a fifth of the weight of the magnet, sort of thing. So for a fifth of the weight, if you want 2 pieces, you know, I thought, well, can we actually bend this so we can actually hold these 2 magnets in there? And I think that will be the next stage, if I can figure out a way of making a simple build, you know, like, see, if it's something like that or something like this, maybe I can put one on either side there. That may be the way in, and then figure out some sort of newfangled plastic, you know, 3D molded thing online you can make yourself for about 5 cents or something if you've got a 3D printer or something, or someone can make me something eventually. So maybe start off with a design like that sort of thing, which I can knock up, proof of concept sort of thing, and then go for a much more efficient version like that. I don't know, with a bit of plastic holding it together. I don't know, I see all this stuff online and people doing all this fancy stuff with the plastics, and I'm thinking, yeah, great, it'd be nice, but you've got to get the initial principle first. Okay, over and out for now for this clip. I think it's way too long, but you know, at least we're back to the magnets, and I think we just got to keep going back to the egg. I think that's what it is, basically. That's the